Hi.
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 How's it going?
How's it going?
Welcome to stayfhomekins, everyone who is listening. My name is Paul F. Tompkins.
He's a comedian.
Her name is Janie Ada Tompkins.
I'm an actress.
We are a married couple living in Los Angeles, and we have started a podcast during the global pandemic.
And so things are easing up pandemic-wise.
Mm-hmm.
Not,
Pandemically speaking, things are easing up.
but not all around the world.
It's very true.
And
It's very
so the pandemic is still happening, even though we're in California where the numbers are quite low now. And they vaccinated 30 million Californians.
Mm-hmm.
We're one of the 30 million.
true. We're two of them.
Oh, I meant two.
Come on, include me.
We feel very fortunate that we have been in this wave of vaccinations. And so people out there are still waiting. And we want to send our love and strength to everyone.
Yes. And it is such a perfect commentary on this country and the times in which we're living that people are saying online like, hey, urge your government to send the vaccine to India.
Right.
Like, why do we have to urge people to do this?
I don't understand.
It's ludicrous.
I don't. So India is having such a rough time.
Oh.
But then I don't understand India's system or politics or whatever. But people were saying there's like I saw online. I don't know what's accurate, so I don't want to spread misinformation. But these are things that I saw that might not be true. That there are like people gathering outdoors in big groups with no masks and stuff like that. That there is like
in India,
yeah,
and this is why they have such a problem.
Or that was like a piece of it,
right?
Kind of.
Right.
Also, India is very densely populated, and I guess they sort of maybe something I saw too. Like I said, I didn't do a deep dive on this.
Yeah.
That they lifted some restrictions to, like that they thought, oh, it's over too soon, kind of a thing, you know?
Yeah.
And yeah, so I just, it's horrible.
Yeah.
It's horrible.
It's terrifying.
So I hope that they're getting the aid. I hope that they're getting the aid, and I hope that they're like, you know,
do you remember
figuring it out? When we watched that Jeremy Piven. Is that what you were going to say? I knew you were going to say that.
Journey of a Lifetime.
Okay. That really happened, right? That show?
Yes, it really happened.
Okay, so let me ask you a question.
Mm-hmm.
I do remember it.
Mm-hmm.
I remember watching it. I do, but when...
Where were we living when we watched that?
We lived in Los Feliz.
Okay.
In that apartment behind the Vista Theater.
Yeah.
My question to you is...
Was and is. Because I refuse to answer it so far.
Were we watching it? Why did we watch it?
Honestly,
I think I wanted to see India. It was like a travel show.
Yes, we saw a trailer for it. It was scenes of India coupled with the title, Jeremy Piven's Journey of a Lifetime. And seeing him in India wearing a T-shirt that said, eat more carbs.
Wait, is that right? How do you remember that?
How could I forget it?
I just remember like he was like interviewing this hot Bollywood actress, and it almost felt like he was on the make.
I don't remember that at all.
He was on the make. He was like, "This is my friend." I can't remember the hot Bollywood actress that he interviewed, and she's a hot Bollywood actress, and he was like he had it turned up to 11.
Sure,
like he was. I mean, maybe they were friends. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Maybe they were.
With Benny.
Oh, shit, honey. You're saying that Jeremy Piven, on his journey of a lifetime, is fuck buddies with this hot Bollywood actress?
I'm saying Jeremy Piven, on his journey of a lifetime, may have texted you up.
Friends with benefits is a much nicer term.
Than a fuck buddy?
Than fuck buddy, yeah.
Well, yeah, fuck buddy is a stupid term.
It's crass.
I don't like it.
Because it can be a beautiful thing, friendship with benefits.
I mean, yeah. I just know, like, he did go to, like, some really amazing looking places in the show.
Yeah.
But how did that happen? Like, what happened? How did Jeremy Piven get to do how come I didn't get to do a journey of a lifetime?
Well, Jeremy Piven beat you to it and pitched it first. I'm sure he pitched it. I'm sure it was a thing he wanted to do and said, I should take a camera crew. Because, he was at that point.
Well, he was on Entourage.
He was on Entourage. And I think Entourage was still on the air.
Yes.
So
if we were living in Los Feliz, it was on the air.
And he was the only part of that show that people ever talked about.
He was good on that show.
He was good on that show.
I mean, he was he was Ari, what's his name? What was his Ari Gold?
Ari Gold. That's
yeah.
right.
Oh, speaking of Entourage, I happened to because I happened
to see my friend Turtle the other day. His vodka is doing very well.
Did you see there was an article online? Actually, someone sent it on our Twitter feed, and I was happy because I retweeted and made a snarky little. You know how I do me on Twitter.
Yes, I do.
I get one in. I get a good zinger in.
You get your licks in.
I get my zinger in like once a week or twice a week. So apparently, the creator of Entourage,
Doug Ellen.
Yes.
Yeah.
Is it Ellen or Elon?
I thought it was Ellen.
Yeah, I guess you're right. It's Doug Ellen. Doug Ellen. The explorer. So there was an article this week that he's very bitter about PC culture's backlash has prevented his show from having like a renaissance because
society has advanced. What a thing to be upset about.
And that he feels like, but then there was another pull quote in the article which struck me I'm going to mess this up, where he said that he pitched something else to HBO, I guess, post Entourage. Mm-hmm. And he was really pissed off that they didn't buy it and made other shitty shows instead on their channel.
Sure. So rather than think, wow, I was lucky enough to have this show on the air for
7 seasons in a movie.
What?
Was it 7 or 5? 5 seasons in well, there was a movie,
And the movie, yeah. I wanted to, I pitched this idea, the island of mute hot women.
Listen.
They wouldn't go for it.
That's your, I know who that is. That's your New York.
Oh, yeah, the New York guy.
The New York guy.
I haven't done that voice in a long time.
That you're like, whoa.
If this is New York. Hey, New York.
If we were in New York, I could be eating a pierogi right now. I mean, what? Hey. If this is New York, I mean, I'd be unraveling a mummy right now. Sorry, I'm doing like one of Paul's comedy bits.
I think it's come up on this show before, and I think I posted it on the Instagram.
Did you post it?
Yeah.
Because you can find it. Y'all, you can look it up. It's on Comedy Central's, I think you did it for Gotham.
Yeah, Live at Gotham.
At Gotham. And look up Paul F. Tompkins, Live at Gotham.
This is the wildest thing, is that someone in the control room must have known who you were because...
they showed me laughing.
There's an audience reaction. It's Janie.
Well, of course they knew who I was because they had like a seat taped for me.
Right.
That was a good night. It was you, Camille. Then I wouldn't have made the show.
Do you know what happened behind the scenes? Was there, and I may have told you this when it happened, but there was this guy, he was a producer for the show, and he used to be a stand-up comic. I don't think he does stand-up anymore. He used to be a stand-up comic. I don't think he does stand-up anymore. And this is a guy that I had met in Philly a million years ago when I was just starting out.
Okay.
And I remember him being funny. He was kind of gimmicky. Like he did a voice sort of. He had a vocal affectations for his punchlines that probably helped sell punchlines that were not as great.
Okay.
And I thought it was really funny. And then we hung out. A bunch of us hung out after the show.
The Gotham show?
No. This is in Philly.
In Philly.
And he was such a condescending dick.
What?
Yeah. Then...
That's not where I thought you were going with this.
Then the next time I see him is when he's a producer on Gotham. Mm-hmm. And he's asking me what I wanted my credits to be. And this was, when was that?
2009.
2009. And because were we living in New York at the time?
It might have been 2008. Yes, we were living there.
And so I said, could you mention Mr. Show? Because, that's like that's my biggest credit. Really,
sure.
And it's a thing that people recognize, and it's a thing that people recognize as good. Mm-hmm. It's my coolest, let's say, credit. My biggest street credit.
If you say so, I haven't seen it. So,
and he started fucking mocking me
at the Gotham.
Yeah, for how old the credit was.
Oh, okay.
And I gave a little pushback. I was like, well, it's a
comedy. It's a comedy fans show.
Yeah,
it's a comedy fans show, and this is a stand up.
It has a life. It's not like, because it's not on anymore. It's not like people forgot about it. You know what I mean? It's not like if I went up there, if I said, could you mention that I was on The Single Guy?
Right.
You know what I mean? So
what's wrong with Single Guy? Just kidding.
So I said, okay, that's fine. Then he kept going. Like he wouldn't stop. And I was like, all right.
So you change it?
Yeah, I changed it. I already agreed to change it. And he kept going on.
Bummer. I don't like that.
So then we do the show. Show goes well. After the show, he fucking goes on at it again. And it's like, this is not a thing where we're having fun joking back and forth. This is just a thing where he is telling me what an idiot I was to suggest that credit.
Wow.
And he fucking wouldn't let it go. And after a while, I just stopped. I looked away from him and he kept on talking. Wow. He talked to my back as we were walking up these stairs together to get out of the club. It was wild.
That's so
what
weird.
The fuck is wrong with you, dude? I mean, I can only assume there was a bitterness there that was like, how come I'm not on this show? How come my career didn't lead me to a place where I'm in front of the camera rather than back here?
Honestly,
that could be untrue. He could be perfectly happy doing that.
Honestly,
I have no idea.
Who knows? Because we don't know what is going on with people.
No.
That's
knows
what's so hard
with diseased mind people.
Oh my God. Wow. You're I don't know. It's so hard to I know I've behaved poorly in situations.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But here's the difference to me.
Okay.
Is I have been in my life in workplaces. I have been short-tempered. I have been inconsiderate. You know what I mean? I know that I have not been at my best every single time.
Right.
I've never done a thing like that.
Right.
Where it was just being mean.
Right.
I've behaved poorly in a bad moment, but I have not gone out of my way. The fact that after the fucking show, and he came back doing it, and what? It didn't matter that I was even paying attention.
Also,
it was so weird.
Why should it matter if that's what you want your credit to be?
Yeah, I know.
What
exactly.
is that? How does that impact the Gotham
Guess
live?
What? When people don't ask me my credits, that's the credit they use.
Right. Right. If they Google your name or whatever.
Mr. Show was a big comedy deal. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's no, it's not the most famous thing that people have ever heard of, but it's people, if you're watching a stand-up show on Comedy Central, I bet you've heard of it.
Then you're a Mr. Show person. Probably.
You probably have at least heard of the show.
Speaking of weird behavior, that made me think of
Let's get into it.
The thing that happened this week. Are we allowed to talk about the thing that happened?
Yeah, let's talk about it. Okay, so let me set it up.
Wait. You're going to set it up?
Yes. Because first of all, I'll let you come into the story when you come into the story. How about that?
Wait.
Yeah.
Are you going to mention?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I just want to make sure you mention that.
All right. So I'll start with that.
That's what I would start with.
We're in our living room, and we have a window overlooking the street, and we see this guy outside. He's standing in the street, and he's got his phone out, and it looks like he's not even taking pictures, but like taking a movie. Like he's moving and holding the camera steady. I almost went out there to say,
he's taking a movie of our home.
Can I help you? Yeah.
He's taking a movie of our home.
Yeah. Like I don't know how much of the street he was doing. I don't know where he started.
I know where he stopped.
He stopped right next door?
Right next door. And then he walked back to the corner.
Right.
And we never seen this guy before.
No. A complete stranger.
And we even commented on it to one another like, what's that guy doing? Why is he videotaping our house? And we kind of made like an offhanded joke. Like, I was like, well, I don't know. Maybe he likes the trees, because remember that time you made me stand next to the giant skeleton that you can buy at Home Depot in that person's yard? And you were taking a picture. And I was like, I'm on their property now. Like, this isn't. And you're like, no, stand next to the giant skeleton from the Home Depot that they dressed up in a diaper.
For Valentine's Day.
It was for
he had a little bow and arrow.
And I was like, I'm on their property now. They're going to see da-da-da-da. So I don't know. We were just like kind of making a joke. And I was like, well, that one time.
I don't want to derail us, but I do want to say this about the giant skeleton. If you put a giant skeleton on your property, you got to expect people are going to take pictures next to it. And I maintain little Janie next to the giant Cupid skeleton would have been hilarious.
Well, you did take the picture, remember? Because you sent it to our neighbors.
You didn't get that close. You wouldn't get that close.
I did. I mocked his stance and everything. Like
you imitated his stance, yes.
But I was like, I gotta get out this yard.
She thought like a guy was gonna come out with a corncob pipe and a shotgun. Who are you, revenuers?
Carpetbaggers. Get off my damn lawn.
I'll make you into a screen door.
Get off my damn lawn. All I know is that we made like a joke kind of about this guy casing our property.
Yeah.
Okay. I hand the reins.
So, like 10 minutes later.
I almost feel like okay.
No, I know you feel like that.
But I know when I came into the story, and it was before you think I came into the story.
No, believe me. I was aware of when you came into the story. Now, remember, my career as a professional storyteller.
Fine.
So you might think I'm leaving something out. I'm not leaving it out.
Okay.
All right.
Fine.
So because I want to tell the story to the listener as it unfolded for us.
I now want to get into the nitty gritty of my emotional reaction.
Oh, we will. So I get this phone call. I see this number. I don't recognize the number. I throw it to voicemail.
Decline.
I decline. Seconds later, same number. And I'm like, okay, maybe this is like a work thing. Somebody's trying to get a hold of me. I pick it up. The guy says, yeah, is this, I swear to God, it sounded like he said Officer Tompkins. And I said, yeah. And he said, you live on, and he mispronounced our street name, which happens often. And I was like, yeah. Which at that, like, I wish I could take that back.
Right. That you know what I mean? Confirmed our address to someone.
So he says, listen, my wife says she saw you and your wife walking your dog, and the dog pooped on the sidewalk and you didn't pick it up. So I just want to tell you to, in the future, just do this, to pick it up. And I said, oh, well, that's not us. We don't have a dog. And he said, look, my wife saw it. I'm just saying, in the future, pick it up. And I say, I'm already getting annoyed because it's like,
listen to me.
Why?
Yeah.
What a weird lie it would be if I honestly was caught to say, oh, no, well, that's not true. We don't have a dog.
Right.
Because I'm thinking this is a guy that he must live in the neighborhood. Because he said, I'm one of your neighbors. I live down the street. And so I say again, we don't have a dog. And he goes, well, my wife's not a liar. So, I'm just saying, I'm not trying to make a big deal out of it. Just pick up after your dog. And I say, listen to me. We don't have, so now I'm escalating.
And he said his name.
He said his name was Jerry. Yes.
Yeah. So you kept saying his name.
So I said, Jerry, we don't have a dog. You're wrong. And he keeps doing the same thing where he keeps saying in this condescending way, hey man, you don't have to get upset. All I'm saying is just pick up after your dog. So I start fully screaming and saying, dude, you got to listen to me. We don't have a fucking dog.
Sorry.
Here's why we didn't pick up the dog shit. We don't have a dog. And he keeps going. So I'm like, I'm getting more and more angry and frustrated and screaming. So Janie comes in and is trying to ask me, what's going on? Who are you talking to? And I'm trying to indicate to her, please, I don't want to take the time to explain what's going on to you. I want to yell at this man. That is really the truth.
He was screaming at
it. It was really the truth. I wanted to continue to scream at this man for as long as he was going to tell me to pick up my dog shit. I wanted to continue screaming at him that we did not have a dog. So then eventually he says, I keep asking him, like, where do you live? Where do you live? He's like, we're down the street. We're like around the corner. I said, and what's your name again? He's like, my name's Jerry. It's like, so your wife saw, it was me and my wife. He said, yeah, you and your wife. And he said Janie's legal first name, which no one ever calls her. And I'm like,
so he clearly Googled all this information.
Yeah, I'm like, well, this guy doesn't know who we are. So to me, what I'm thinking, what's going on in my mind is, how does he know that it was us if he doesn't even know who we are? He lives in the neighborhood, but he can't pronounce the street name. He knows that it was us, but he doesn't know who we are. He says he looked us up on a homeowners association or something. I don't even know.
We don't have a homeowners association. We live in a city. We don't live in a thing. Yeah.
It's not a community. So I'm screaming, yelling. Janie comes in. She's asking me, what's going on? And I'm like, I'm trying to wave her off. Then the guy says something like, he said, do you want to come outside and I can show you, whatever. And I was like, yeah, okay. And so I walk outside.
You kind of darted.
I stormed outside for sure.
You're like, yeah, come out.
Yeah.
Come on, Jerry.
Yeah.
Where are you? Where the fuck are you?
Yeah. So outside, I'm like, Jerry, where are you? I thought we were coming outside to talk to each other.
And I'm literally, I'm like, oh my God, there's going to be a fucking... I'm running out after him, and he didn't come out, though.
No, he did not. And I said, where are you? I thought you were coming out. He said, no, you're yelling at me. You're like, you could be homicidal. I don't know. I'm not coming out there.
Oh, he said that? You didn't tell me that.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, the whole time I'm thinking he's a homicidal.
I know. But if he were homicidal, would I be yelling like that?
I don't know why he was sitting there taking it and not listening
exactly
because so that's why I thought he was homicidal, because I thought he was fucking crazy.
What he was doing.
He was fucking crazy.
Yes. And so I'm outside. Now I'm yelling on the street.
Oh my God, he was screaming on the street in broad day. He's like, don't fucking call me again.
No. We're not there yet.
Okay.
So I'm looking around. I don't really see anybody. So that's I'm sure people heard me.
Are you like, where the fuck are you, man?
Yeah.
Where are you? I'm out here.
I
Jerry?
I didn't see any neighbors that were looking at me ranting.
No, they heard it.
No, they heard it for sure.
They heard it.
So
he was screaming.
I said, look, man, now he's doubling down on, my wife saw you and your wife do this. We have a Ring doorbell. We saw it. And I said,
I would love to see that footage.
I said, look, why don't you tell your wife to get her eyes checked? And then he says, oh, that's great. My wife has eye cancer. She has octo. He can't say this thing. I think at one point he said octomom.
Also, by the way, if she has eye cancer, that explains the whole problem.
Well, exactly. But he says, oh, that's really cool. My wife has eye cancer. You're going to mock her? Like, fuck you, dude. Fuck you. And I said, then I was like, this guy's ridiculous. I said, Jerry,
we don't
have a fucking dog. Don't ever fucking call here again.
Yeah.
And I hung up.
So then you're like, I'm going to go in the other room.
I explained everything to Janie.
And I'm like, okay.
I'm trying to calm down. We're talking about it.
Oh, wait. But remember, I think you also said on that time, you said, were you fucking taking pictures of our fucking house?
Oh, yeah, I did. Yes, I did ask him that. I was like, were
you fucking, you creep?
Were you by our house?
Fucking creep taking pictures of our fucking...
Yeah, and he said, yes, that was me. And I said, that's what did it. I said, you fucking creep.
You fucking creep. Yeah.
We don't have a dog. Don't ever call here again. And I hung up. So then I explained everything to Janie.
I'm like worked up. Like, I'm literally like, why didn't he just hand the phone to me?
Janie is on the porch. Like, when I'm outside, Janie's on the porch like I am the town drunk that I'm like, so, please come in, dear, please.
I was like, come on. Like, I wanted you to give me the phone so bad because I was like, I have questions about so much right now. And I was going to be like, why don't y'all just come on? Like, you know, come on over.
Why don't y'all come over? We'll have pie together.
We're vaccinated.
We'll have some coffee and some pie.
And Paul's like fucking 0 to Philly. He was 0 to Philly in fucking 30 seconds.
This guy got me.
And he was like, well, tell your wife to get her fucking eyes checked and all this stuff.
I didn't say get her fucking eyes checked. I did say tell your wife to get her eyes checked.
He said, you better tell your wife to get her eyes checked. You fucking asshole. I think you did call him an asshole.
I did call him an asshole, not in the same breath as tell your wife to get her eyes checked.
No, it wasn't in the same breath.
So then I'm calming down. I'm like trying to, and by the way, I'd come in, like I was exhausted.
I made Paul take me for 2 auditions in one day. Like I was like, I got another audition you have to take. So like he's like
and then
working.
I went, took a hike, and
it was hot out, blah, blah, blah.
And I came back and I was like, I just want to like relax. I just want to lie down for like 5 minutes. And then this guy fucking calls back 10 minutes later.
I can't believe you answered.
And I was like, why are you calling me? And he said, look, my wife wants to talk to your wife because you're like out of control. My wife wants to talk to your wife.
Oh, he told you. You didn't tell me some of this stuff.
And I said, I'm not going to.
You're like, no.
I'm not going to put my wife on the phone with your wife. And he said, okay, well, I really think that she, you know, put her on because my wife wants to talk to her and like said all this. It's like, man, it doesn't matter. We don't have a dog, so it didn't happen.
So the end of
there's
story.
No point. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, but then
you at one point you say,
I came in the room.
Wait, did he say a chihuahua? I said.
No, he did. Yeah.
I asked him.
Well, I said, ask him what he saw.
Yes.
I want to. Yeah.
So I said, if your wife knows it was us, what do we look like? And he said, you got a dumb little mustache. Your wife is cute.
I didn't hear that part.
Yeah.
Oh,
no, I'm about to tell you a few things you didn't hear.
Oh.
So I said, okay, now you're just gonna insult me on top of this, like.
And also, by the way, you could seriously Google what we look like. So, yeah.
Which I'm assuming at this point, this is what he's done. Like
he's Googled a dossier.
At this point, I'm like,
he has a dossier.
He doesn't know us. Yes, he's just like he's looking at a page online.
Yeah.
What's that fucking noise? Like Fast and the Furious out there?
I don't know.
So
I'm spooked because we're talking about this story.
Yeah.
So like I got spooked on that day.
Yeah. So I said.
So he said, "Oh, you have a dumb little mustache. Your wife is cute."
Yeah. And I said, "Look, man, if you're gonna insult me, like there's no point to this anyway. We don't have a dog. My wife's not going to talk to your wife." And
then he said, "What did you see?" And he said.
So you were standing there, the two of you with your dumb little chihuahua, and the chihuahua shit on the ground, and you didn't pick it up. And then
because then that set me off because
I said we don't have a chihuahua. Then Jane jumped in with, I was standing with
our neighbor.
I was standing with the neighbor, and they have 2 chihuahuas. And but what I wanted to say was to Janie. This didn't happen. So it doesn't matter how many chihuahuas you were standing near.
No, but what happened was like an hour before we saw that guy taking video of our house.
Yeah.
I was standing on the front porch talking to our neighbor that has 2 chihuahuas.
Yes.
And they're very skittish. And I was like, oh, they won't let me pet them. And she was like, oh, yes, they will if you give them these treats. And then she handed me some treats. And I was feeding Tico and Cece treats and like petting Tico and Cece. And so in my mind, I was like, oh, they saw me on the front lawn with chihuahuas. And so they thought...
But how would that... I understand why you thought that.
Because it was just so coincidental that I happened to be petting...
It was too late. And also, I wasn't there, so that had nothing to do with it. That had nothing to do with it.
It was just a strange coincidence, because it literally was an hour before.
Yes.
It was the same day. It was all on the same day.
So then the guy says, just put your wife on to talk to my wife. And I said, no, I'm not going to do that.
He's like,
and he says,
no.
Now my wife is saying... Okay, now my wife is saying that it was your wife that was shitting on the lawn. And that's when I realized that this was a prank.
See, and I'm not... Paul thinks it's a prank. I don't think it is.
It was a prank. And I said, oh, I get it now.
Oh, and then I saw you go... You went, oh, I get it. And you're like, this is a prank.
Yeah. I said, did you get what you wanted? And he's like, yeah, I did. And I said, okay, look. And then he goes, no, I get it. Don't call here again. You're going to block my number and all that. And then I just hung up.
And blocked the number.
And I was so...
He blocked the number.
Yeah, of course.
But I think it was the guy. And I think it was the guy.
You think it was the same guy that was outside with the camera?
I think it was the guy, because I don't totally believe in coincidences. That I think he was outside with the camera, and I think that he realized that we didn't have a dog, and so he was covering by pretending it was a prank.
Oh.
That's what I thought.
This is what made me hang up on him the first time. I forgot about this.
Okay, what?
So I'm outside, and I'm yelling. And then...
He was Philly as fuck, y'all. He was Philly as fuck. Like, I'm not joking. Like, he went from 0 to Philly, and I was like, what the fuck is going on? I was in the other room, and I just heard him being like, we don't have a fucking dog. And then, like, he ran outside, and he had his Phillies cap on and everything, and he ran outside. He's like, come on, Jerry. Come on. Were you just going to come outside? You're just going to fucking come outside. And I'm like, oh my God. I have like hands on my head. I'm like, come on. I was like, oh my God.
You were so...
I was so Southern.
So one point while I'm standing out there, the neighbor's dogs start barking.
Oh, the neighbor's dog started barking because Paul was screaming.
This was a great detail. And he said, oh, wait, so you don't have a dog. Then what dogs are those that are barking right now? And I said, those are the neighbor's dogs. And he said... No,
you said, those are the neighbor's dogs, you dumb fuck, or something like that.
Something like that.
You were like, those are the neighbor's dogs, you dumb idiot.
I said, those are the neighbor's dogs. And he said, oh, well, maybe it was them. And I said...
So it was them.
I said, you fucking idiot.
By the way, the neighbors don't have a chihuahua. They have 3 dogs, and not one is a chihuahua.
It's all made up. He didn't see anything. None of this happened. None of this happened, honey. None of this happened.
I think it was someone down the street.
No. First of all...
Why? So
where does he live that he saw a dog, right? He saw you standing near a dog, and then all of a sudden his wife, who has Octomom, saw us with a single chihuahua. It didn't happen. The guy probably doesn't even live in Los Angeles or in California.
He had an 818 number though. Because I tried to reverse.
We looked up that number and it was like some window company or something.
It was not even though. It was just not associated. I think it was like that was internet trash. Like it wasn't.
Yeah.
It was hard
bullshit. It was a crank call.
When the first time he called and he hung up and Paul hung up and I was like, oh my God. I was like, that guy, someone's casing our house. And they called to find out if we had a dog to rob the house. Like, because then they got the information that we don't have a dog.
Right. Which is when you would have hung up.
And then Paul was like, okay. Paul goes,
you would have been like, my mistake, goodbye.
Paul was like, then he got the information.
Yeah.
So why would he keep me on the phone? And I'm like, okay, so maybe he's an idiot. This is what I think. I think it's someone who lives down the street and they're and he's an idiot.
No,
I think he's an idiot.
I would love to believe that, but I don't think it's true. I think it was a crank call. And I also don't think if you're casing a house, you would walk in the street in broad daylight filming with your phone. It's also not casing the house. Like, here's what the front of the house looks like.
Well, then I was like, so then Paul was trying to convince me it was some cranker. And I was like, no, I think it's someone down the street who just like leaned into that. So, cause he was so stupid. Cause he was so fucking stupid.
At the end, I could tell that it was just like, he was like, yeah, I got you. You know what I mean? He didn't say that, but that was the point of it.
So then I was like, I couldn't let go of this for like 24 hours because I was like, I don't know. I
had to tweet about it because I was so annoyed by it. I was annoyed.
You were annoyed because you were taken in.
Yeah. I was annoyed that he got me. And I was annoyed that I spent so much time. Yes.
I was like, I don't know. The whole thing was unnerving because he knew our address, which is, he knew our address. He knew my legal name, whatever. Like that stuff's on fucking whatever.
Yeah. It's all
and he looked up our
somewhere.
Pictures to like describe us.
Yeah.
But why? Like, who is he and why?
Why does anybody do crank calls?
Well, ego, right? Ego, power.
Yeah. You want the fun of making someone get upset over a made up thing. That's what crank calls are all about. You want to fuck with somebody, you want to fuck with somebody.
But then why didn't he cover up his number?
Well,
why didn't he cover up his fucking number?
Because that number seems to be attached to nothing, as we said.
Yes, but ostensibly,
you also don't want to use your own number. I don't think it was his number. I think it's a number. But you
can hit like star 62 or whatever the fuck and just have unknown number.
I don't know. Maybe
you think he bought a burner phone to like?
I don't know. I don't know, but I don't. You have to make the case for your theory then.
My theory is that it had to have been related to the guy videoing our house. Because what I think happened was he thinks that we have a dog.
I will say that the guy who was videoing our house did look like a dork named Jerry.
The guy videoing our house looked like a
phone.
Dork named Jerry. And no offense to Jerry's out there. Like,
no, but not all Jerrys are dorks. This dork, Here's
why I think it could have been that guy.
If you've ever seen a dork named Jerry, you know what I'm talking about.
Here's why I think it could have been that guy is because the timing of it. Because he was videoing our house.
I get that.
And then he took the address that he found from standing in front of our house, plugged that into Google, and then did all of his little dossier stuff.
But if he lived in the neighborhood, if he actually lived in the neighborhood, he would know how to pronounce the street name.
That's what I think too, but he also could be dumb. Right? Like, I don't think he lives on our street. I think he lives around the corner.
It was a prank.
That's what I think.
It was a prank. It was just a prank.
Well, I think Jerry should go fuck himself.
Jerry, if you're listening, go fuck yourself.
Jerry, if you're listening, unless you are a Hollywood executive.
Hollywood Jerry's, if you're listening.
Hollywood Jerry's.
You got to drum Jerry out of the club. All right, we're going to take a break. Yoo-hoo. Usual Wines is our sponsor this week. Usual Wines is the wine for the modern drinker. That's me. Because guess what? I just ordered some Usual Wines.
I saw that box of Usual Wines. You did have to sign for them.
I did it sign because rules are rules. And it's all above board. That's right. So you can't, if you're a kid listening to this, you think you're just going to be able to order a fucking case of wine? No, you can't.
You have to show that you're not. Well, first of all, I was a little jealous because I was like, I want some Usual Wines.
Well, get some.
I might get me some.
It was fun. I used our promo code. It was fun.
What's our promo code again?
I'll get to that in a second. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. Usual Wines. Each bottle is 6.3 ounces. That's a heavy pour, about a glass and a half of wine. No more pouring wine down the sink like a lunatic. Because of the single serve format and bottle design, Usual is always fresh. No more flat, bubbly, or stale rosé. I do love the bottle. I think it's adorable. It looks like a little science beaker.
You got yourself some red wine.
I did get myself some red wine.
You love it.
I do.
I love it too, but okay.
I do. I'm not Dracula. The wines are low carb and have 0 grams of sugar. And Usual has a red blend, a rosé, and a sparkling white wine called Brut They also have Usual Spritz, a low-alcohol, low-calorie wine spritzer. We're talking 8.5% ABV.
I want that spritz. That's what I want.
Order it. It is made of sparkling wine and guava juice. It's like White Claw for grown-ups. Again, any kids listening, you just got served. Each serving has just 83 calories. So go check out their website at usualwines.com and use our discount code stayfhomekins for $8 off your first order and try your first glass on us. That's usualwines.com. Stayfhomekins discount code. Get $8 off. What? Yeah. Yes. $8 off your first order and try your first glass on us.
Guys, it's been a hell of a year, right? Personally, I feel like I've aged 12 years. That's why this episode is brought to you by Blue Chew. You might not be feeling as spry as you normally have because we've been through the goddamn ringer, especially in the bedroom. It's time to snap out of it. Spring is here, and it's time to get sprung, if you know what I mean. Oh, shit. With Blue Chew. I'm talking about your privates, men. I'm talking about your privates. Blue Chew is a unique online service that delivers the same active ingredients as Viagra and Cialis. You feel me? But in chewable form and at a fraction of the cost. Blue Chew's tablets help men achieve harder, stronger erections to combat all forms of ED. And I guess there's a lot of forms. Blue Chew is an online prescription service, so no visits to the doctor's office, no awkward talks, no waiting in line, and no, you get it shipped right to your door in a discreet package so your mother-in-law isn't like, oh, your dick pills are here. The process is simple. Sign up at bluechew.com, consult with one of their licensed medical providers, and once you're approved, you'll receive your prescription within days. And the best part, it's all done online. So, F it, haters. Blue Chew's licensed medical providers work with you to find the right ingredient and strength for your prescription. If you don't like swallowing pills, no problems. This is a chewable, okay? Blue Chew's sildenafil and tadalafil tablets are chewable. Their tablets are made in the USA, and they're prepared and shipped direct. So it's cheaper than a pharmacy. So if you could benefit from extra confidence when it's time to perform, and couldn't we all? Visit bluechew.com for more details and safety info. And we've got a special deal for our listeners. Try Blue Chew free when you use our promo code HOMEKINS at checkout, and you only have to pay $5 for shipping. That's Blue Chew, because they're chewable, get it? They're blue in color and chewable, not swallowable. BlueChew.com, promo code HOMEKINS to receive your first month free. And we thank Blue Chew for sponsoring us.
You can chew them, but eventually you do swallow them, so they're not unswallowable. I just think that's important. Magic Spoon. The ad. Do you remember how much you loved sugar cereals when you were a kid?
Yes.
Like, oh my,
I still want it, but I'm a grown-up.
Why have cornflakes being Frosted Flakes? Cornflakes were for adults. They were for people that fought in wars. Well, guess what?
Guess what?
You can't eat those as a grown-up.
No.
Because they'll destroy you.
Yes.
But there's a loophole, my friends.
What is it?
If you're trying to cut down on carbs, sugar, and unhealthy food.
I am.
And you're thinking, I can't eat anything anymore. Guess what you can have?
What?
Magic Spoon. Yes! Magic Spoon.
Magic Spoon.
Magic Spoon is delicious breakfast cereal that you can eat, I don't care, anytime you want. I'm not your mom. Magic Spoon has 0 grams of sugar, 13 to 14 grams of protein, only 4 net grams of carbs in each serving. Sorry, Jeremy Piven. And only 140 calories a serving. It is keto-friendly, gluten-free, grain-free, soy-free, low-carb, and GMO-free. And we've got exciting news. Magic Spoon has released a super delicious new flavor. Birthday cake. Birthday cake. Birthday cake Magic Spoon will be available in a special 5-pack for a limited time only, so get it while you can.
Ooh.
Or build your own box. Available flavors to build your very own custom bundle are cocoa, fruity, frosted, peanut butter, my favorite, and cinnamon. If you are listening from Canada, and God, I hope you are, because I love Canada, Magic Spoon now ships there as well.
That's
Good
awesome.
news. You guys can stop eating beaver strips. Okay. Go to magicspoon.com/homekins to grab the new limited edition birthday cake or a custom bundle of cereal to try today. And be sure to use our promo code HOMEKINS at checkout to save $5 off your order. This offer is now good anywhere in the U.S. or Canada.
Oh, Canada.
Or Canada, but only when you use our code at checkout. And Magic Spoon is so confident in their product, it is backed with a 100%, most you can have, happiness guarantee. So if you don't like it, or for any reason, you don't want it. So if you don't like it for any reason, I saw an or in there that didn't exist. So if you don't like it for any reason, they will refund your money, no questions asked. Can you imagine if they grilled you?
That's really good customer service.
It's really good customer service.
Thank you, Magic Spoon, for trusting people.
I don't think you're black magic. Remember, get your next delicious bowl of guilt-free cereal at magicspoon.com/homekins and use the code HOMEKINS to save $5 off. Thank you, Magic Spoon, for sponsoring this episode. And now we're into part 2.
I thought you were like actually packing up, like you thought it was over. Because he started like rolling up that cord.
I am putting my earbuds away because I realize once we set the
he
levels
doesn't like
and
to
everything,
hear his voice.
Au contraire, mon frère. I love to hear it.
In your ears.
I love to hear it
in
live.
The earbuds.
I don't like to hear it later.
Well, I'm just saying, like, thank you for listening to Stay Homekins. Thank you for listening to our sponsors. Thank you to our sponsors.
Honey,
thank you for...
I co-sign all of that.
Thank you for all the nice letters, tweets, everything. So here's something I wanted to mention this week.
Let's get into it.
Double whammy. 2 G's, GG, 2 G's, GG.
Everyone's talking about 5G. Well, what about 2 G's?
2 G's, GG, Giuliani, and Gates.
That's right.
Giuliani and Gates.
This was a banner week for creeps getting investigated.
Down comes the hammer. Hammer's dropping. First of all, Giuliani obviously was lobbying people to invest foreign, whatever.
Yeah.
I don't think they give you that particular search warrant.
They don't give you that search warrant.
They don't say, maybe there's something there, maybe not, just check it out. What they say is, oh, go check it out.
Yeah.
Something's there. Fine, whatever. Him. The Gates thing, we got to get into that because the article that just dropped about his fucking a minor, which he did. He did.
Zero doubt here.
Is insane because so this guy Greenberg, I guess he was like some local. I don't know if y'all are following this.
Wait, not from the Ben Stiller movie.
No, he's like from Florida politics, so not the Ben Stiller movie. Here's the thing. Was that a Noah Baumbach?
Oh, it might have been. Or am I thinking, is While We're Young, was that a Noah Baumbach?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't.
You really looked at me in such a challenging way. Like you were looking at me like, your move.
I'm like Jerry from down the street.
Don't bring up Jerry.
Jerry from down the street. Y'all, I need to know, was Jerry the guy filming our house? What do you think? Or was he some rando? Was he some rando that knows who Paul is and he wanted to fuck up Paul F. Tompkins? Like, Because I think Jerry was the guy filming our house and he decided to lean into the prank thing. That's what I think.
I think it's a coincidence. I think that guy that was filming our house could very well have been named Jerry, but I think it's just a coincidence.
No, there are no coincidences.
Okay, Freud.
Also, this is what I think happened. His wife was like, you better go down there and you better find out those people.
I'm imagining the wife like in a sick bed, like a Victorian sick bed. She's got like a washcloth on her head, on her forehead.
Yeah.
Like, you must bring them to justice, Jerry.
She's like, Jerry.
Bring them to justice.
That's what I think. She's like, you go down there. And
if
I
you
know,
were a real bad Jerry, you would do
I
this.
saw him go into that house over there. You go down there and you go take your video. She just is. And she's like, you better go and you better take a video of their house and then Google who they are.
We're going to send it to Judge Judy.
And you're going to tell them not to do it. And so he calls and then you go fucking ballistic on him. And he's like, you're homicidal. And you're like, don't fucking call her again, Jerry. And then you hang up on him. And then he's like, and she's like, well. And then he was like, he said they don't have a dog. He went crazy. And she's like, you better call him back.
I feel like you're proving my point now that it was a prank call because this scenario is.
You're going to Jerry.
Jerry's wife is like a Lady Macbeth.
Jerry.
She's the one making you do all this stuff.
Look, you're going to sit there. You know, he told me to get my eyes checked. You're going to sit there and let him talk to you like that? You call him and tell him to put his wife on the phone.
Let me talk to her.
I'm going to talk to her.
So then what about the part where he says, oh, yeah, my wife says it was your wife shitting on the lawn?
Because then he realized, because you were like, but the second time your tone was different. You were like, what the, what?
Jerry, what are we doing here?
You were like, the second time you're like, what? God. You're like, and you, at one point you said, how can I help you, Jerry? What is it? Why don't you tell me what you saw? And then he tells you and he's like, okay, but we don't have a dog or whatever. Mm-hmm. And so he was like, oh, maybe they don't really have a dog. And so you're like, is this a prank? And he was like, yeah, your wife was shitting on the lawn. Like he was like, I'll cover it up.
I'll cover it up.
I'll cover it up with this.
I know what to do.
I'm going to let him think it. I fucked up. He's like there's a moment where he's like, oh man, I fucked up. They really don't have a dog. I should. He was telling me he didn't have a dog and I didn't listen.
For like 10 minutes. I'll tell you what, if it was me, okay, if this is a real situation, and I am the one.
No one. Okay.
And I am the one that's you tell me you saw on our Ring doorbell.
Paul.
Mm-hmm.
Son,
what?
This couple down the street.
Yeah.
They fucking walked their chihuahua over here. Let the chihuahua use the bathroom on our yard, and they didn't pack it. And they didn't pick it up. And I watched him. I walked out on the sidewalk and I watched him go around the corner into that house over there. You go talk to them at that house over there.
Oh, okay. So you saw this with your own eyes?
Yeah. I saw it with my own eyes.
And where did it happen? It happened in front of our house?
Yeah. It's on the Ring doorbell.
Okay. All right. And so you want me to, what do you want me to do?
I want you to go to that house over there. You see that house that's like 5 houses? It's around the corner, 5 houses. I saw them.
Why don't I just look them up and call?
Whatever. Just tell them not to fucking do it again.
All right. Cut to 5 minutes later.
How'd you get their number?
I looked it up. Like
you Googled?
I looked at their address, and then I looked it up.
Okay.
So I said, my wife saw you and your wife walking your dog, and the dog shit in front of our house, and you didn't clean it up. Say? He said they don't have a dog.
That's not true, Jerry.
Wait, I'm
Are
me
you calling
now.
me a liar?
No, we're not Jerry anymore. You're you and I'm me.
Okay, sorry. Paul, that is not true. I saw it.
What
are you calling
me? No. This is.
Are you calling me a liar?
Recreation. This is supposed to be what if it was us, not
me.
if we were them.
Okay. Wait, so you called him up. Paul, you called him? What did he say?
Yeah, I called him. He said that they don't have a dog, so I think it must have been somebody else. Because he never said he watched us walk into our house. He said we were in front of their house.
Wait, so the conversation was like, hey, don't let your dog use the bathroom. And you're like, oh, I guess I got the wrong. And then he said, I don't have a dog. And you're like, oh, I got the wrong number.
Yeah. Because what's funny is the guy never asked me, do you have a dog? That's what makes it cements in my mind. This is a prank call and not a real person.
Well, he was a real person. You mean like he was a fake person? He was a fake.
It was a fake scenario. Your first question would be, do you have a dog?
The first question, if you're making a prank call, is your refrigerator running?
That is, if you are making a proper prank call, you ask if your refrigerator is running.
And you say yes, and you say, you better go catch it.
Then you can proceed.
Is your refrigerator running? No, this is what it is. Okay, I'm gonna. You've answered. Okay. Ring.
Hello.
Hi. I was just wondering, is your refrigerator running?
Why do you ask?
I just need to know. Is your refrigerator running?
Well, who are you? Why do you need to know?
Is your refrigerator running? Is it running?
Do you think any...
Is it running?
Did you ever do that one when you were a kid?
Yes, of course.
And did you get people?
Yes.
No. Are you kidding me? People fell for it?
Yes.
Do you think it was people being nice because they knew it was kids?
No, I don't know.
That's what
I don't know. Really?
If I picked up the phone and I could tell, obviously this is a kid pranking me, and they actually went with, is your refrigerator running? I would absolutely play along. And I'd be like, why, yes, it is.
And, okay, do that. Is your refrigerator running?
Why, yes, it is. Hello, are you still there?
You better go catch it.
What? How dare you? I'm calling the police. I would do that too. I would act so outraged. What is this trickery?
Hang up the phone.
I'm going to explode.
All I know is I think it was someone in the neighborhood who thinks it.
Well, we should put a poll on Twitter.
This is what I'm polling right now. Oh, on our Stay of Homekins Twitter.
Yes.
Y'all follow at Stay of Homekins on Twitter. We're going to do a poll.
We'll do a poll.
Was Jerry a neighbor or is Jerry a made up asshole? Was Jerry a neighbor caught with his pants down, or is Jerry
with his pants down?
Yeah, because he thought we had a dog, and then he made up a fake story that it was a prank call.
Was Jerry a spineless worm who, when caught,
you can't put that many words on a Twitter poll.
It's true. We'll ask if Jerry was real or fake. What's happening with you right now?
Because I'm having this. I had those leftover hard seltzers.
Were you fighting off hiccups? Oh no, she got the hiccups. Oh no.
I want to talk about the Matt Gaetz thing because
yes.
Here's the thing about the Matt Gaetz.
Imagine like bubbles over your head.
Because remember last week I bought the lottery ticket. By the way, no, last week I didn't buy the lottery ticket because
Next
I
day
didn't.
You went back.
So no, what happened was no one won the Mega Millions. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So on Sunday, no one won Mega Millions Saturday night. So on Sunday, I was like, I had some cash and I was up by the liquor store. I was like, I'm going to get my Mega Millions numbers. And then we didn't win it on Tuesday.
That's correct.
And now I can't buy a lottery again for a while because I don't do regular.
So you only will buy it when it's like just a insane amount of money.
Which is dumb because it's probably better odds if you.
But what's like the regular lottery? How much is it in the millions?
Yes.
Why don't you buy it every day then?
Because it's kind of an idiot tax.
Yeah.
You know, it's just like a fun occasional thing.
When it gets like to a crazy amount,
it's just it's just like a funny thing. It's like it's up to $1 billion or whatever.
It's fun. It's a lark to like think about it and what if it happened? It never will.
The way I look at it is like, okay,
of course, if we win, we'll set up some charities.
The way I think of it is like, it might be an idiot tax, but like it supposedly goes toward education. So I feel like, okay, you know, my $6.
If they want to educate people, they should tell them not to play the lottery.
True that.
Get me back on live at Gotham.
Okay. So I did.
Matt Case.
So I had, okay, whatever. So
turn that over. Don't you read it. You had enough screen time today.
Jesus Christ. Somebody help me.
No screens. We do the podcast as a family.
Somebody rescue me. All right. So listen.
Ask your precious Jerry, the real person.
Jerry. What if we become friends with Jerry and his wife? Like for real. In an offer, in like an extension of like
reality.
In an extension
if they extended reality to include this.
Jerry's existence. Jerry's true existence. No, I'm serious. Like the country is very divided right now. Mm-hmm. Right?
Right.
And there's this whole like sort of talk of like, oh, unity or like unifying, right? Mm-hmm. What if the true symbol of unity is we become, and I have his phone number.
Yeah.
So do you think I could call him up in a couple of days and be like, no. Listen, Jerry, I just wanted to.
I don't think so.
No?
No, I don't think so.
What happens if I call that number? What do you think happens if I call that number?
What if we call it and pranked him?
What? How?
I do wonder what would happen if you call that number.
Well, first, if I call that number, he's going to have my number, unless I do the star 60.
Got to do the star, whatever. So it would be you and me and Jerry and his wife.
And I'd invite him over for a casserole.
But we would like, in order to become the symbol of unity, we would have to tour the country telling the story.
In small theaters, though. Like, it would be like that. What was that show? The Man Show? The Man. There was like a show that was like The Man something or whatever.
You're talking about The Man Show with Jimmy Kimmel and Adam Carolla?
No.
Can you give me a little more to go on?
Something about a man. It was something about a man.
Are you thinking of News of the World with Tom Hanks? That's how we should do it. We go to little towns. We say, folks, gather around. It's just 25 cents, and we'll tell you the story.
I'm curious about. It would be hard to be friends with someone as dumb as Jerry, but I think I could try because
you could try
like Siri just talked to me and scared the fuck out of me.
What did Siri say to you?
Something about trying again.
Do you think she thought that you said her name when you said Jerry?
Here's the thing about not all my friends are geniuses. They all mostly
not all my friends are Jerrys.
All my friends are really smart, which is funny that I'm saying this, but like, I think in the interest of diversity.
Sure.
In the interest of diversity is to have a friend
who's just rock stupid.
Who's like dumb as a brick.
Yeah. I think that's noble.
Who puts his worst foot forward. That's right. Every time. Like he doesn't know how to approach.
Someone who won't take this did not happen for an answer.
Someone who doesn't even ask a question first.
Don't forget, he's also a spineless worm who
didn't come out of his house.
Ordered to do things by his wife.
But that makes me like her, though.
Of course.
Because, like, she might
use the footage, and she says, Jerry, handle this.
Jerry, the ring video.
Jerry, I want you to take a look at this, and then I want you to take care of this issue.
So she's like on Dynasty, and he's like...
But I still think she's bedridden.
She's in a silk kimono. Mm-hmm. And she's got like an eye mask on over her hurt eyes.
Yeah. Because her eyes are weary from watching...
The Ring video. Like the Zapruder film.
Yeah,
back and to the left.
She's watched it over and over again.
Back and to the left.
Yeah.
Okay. So I guess I should call the number. And I should be like, what was this about? And I understand you live down the street and I'd like to bring you some biscuits.
The fuck? You don't make biscuits here.
I heard y'all live down
there. Do
you
make biscuits? And I never knew this?
No. I did make cinnamon rolls on Christmas, so.
You did. They were good.
Okay, I heard y'all live down the street and I just want to bring you like a Starbucks card or something. Something. What can I bring them? Like something, a new ring video.
Why don't you bring them apples with razor blades in them?
Why don't I bring them? I have an idea. Some reading glasses.
Honey.
So that they can see.
People aren't real.
Yes, they are. Who the fuck is Jerry? Who the fuck is Jerry?
He's some fucking idiot. He doesn't like my comedy, probably.
If he doesn't like
He's like some guy who heard me on some podcast like, I fucking hate that guy. I'm going to prank him.
Why? That doesn't make sense.
But, honey, this is like stuff that happens. Why does anybody do it?
I got to get to the bottom of that phone number. I want to know.
We'll explore all avenues.
All right, so Matt Gaetz. So here's what's crazy about the Matt Gaetz story to me that dropped because so essentially this guy Greenberg, he's like a disgraced Florida politician. He was like some treasurer or something or other. Mm-hmm. And him and Matt Gaetz were like fucking all these little girls. And they were paying him. And it sounded like from his confession letter that got...
When you say little girls, you mean what, teenagers?
Yes.
They were not like children.
Well, I mean, they were children.
They were children, but they were yes.
Post-pubescent.
Right.
Yes, post...
I'm not saying this makes it... I mean, yeah, it's still horrible. But it's like, I don't know why I think the distinction is important. I'm not saying it's good or it's better. I don't know.
No, like in other words, they were fucking these teenage girls that I guess they thought were 18.
Yes. Well, did they think that? Or did they know that they weren't and that's why they did it?
I don't know. It doesn't matter because if you're messing with little teenage girls and paying them, for their big gulp money or whatever, like, you have to know that.
No, these are
this
creeps.
Is messed
these
up.
Are creeps doing creep things. They're taking advantage of people who are underage. They're vulnerable. Yes,
vulnerable, and yes. So they were fucking these girls, and they were giving them money for this and that and whatnot. Mm-hmm. And somehow Greenberg, he got in all sorts of trouble for, I don't know, using money for whatever. He got in trouble. So he's basically been talking to the feds, and they were like, why don't you give us something and we can help you out?
Right.
Okay. And so Greenberg is like, all right, he's got these lawyers. This is how I understand the story to be. Y'all can read this story more deeply because my reading comprehension might be Jerry level, but like, so I
didn't marry a Jerry.
I feel bad for our listeners named Jerry because we have nothing against the name Jerry.
We have nothing against Jerry's, but this Jerry, bad news. Also made up name.
So his lawyers are like, just tell him what can you tell them? And he is like, well, so I'm buddies with this Congressman Matt Gaetz, and he's fucked all these little girls and gave him money, and he makes me give them the money, and he sends me Venmos, and I give it to them. And they were like, that's something.
Yep.
That's something you can give. And he's like, no, I don't want to rat on my buddy. And he fires those.
He's a great guy.
So he fires those lawyers and gets new lawyers because they were like, just tell on him.
Right.
Because you're in trouble, dude. You're going to jail.
Yeah.
And so he gets new lawyers, and he's like, no, this guy Greenberg is like thinking somehow he can still get out of this shit because he's like friends with like Roger Stone and stuff. So he starts reaching out to Roger Stone of all people and is like, you got to get me a pardon. Just get me a pardon. And Roger Stone.
Oh, and his text, Roger Stone's text just leaked, right? I feel like this happened today.
No, yesterday.
Yesterday?
This is what I'm talking about. The story dropped last night. And
right.
And so basically, so he's like, can you get me a pardon? And they're talking on this app that I guess like deletes your messages. Mm-hmm. But Greenberg, because he's getting promises of a pardon, is screen capping everything.
That's right.
Because
the old Chris D'Elia takedown. But it goes away.
All right. I don't want to get in the Chris D'Elia thing. All right. So basically he's like, you got to get me a pardon, dude. You got to get me a pardon. And Roger Stone is like, I don't know. And he's like, I'll pay you $250,000 in Bitcoin if you get me a pardon. And Roger Stone's, let me see what I can do. But he was like, I don't, it's kind of hard to get a pardon, but I'll see what I can do. No promises. Mm-hmm. So then like Christmas is happening, like it's getting closer and closer. And the guy's like, come on, man. Like, what's the deal? And he's like, I'm working on it. It looks, maybe possible, da-da-da. And then it comes like down to the wire, like January, whatever. And he's like, I hope you have that money, the $250,000 you promised me, because I think I can do this. And then he's like, I'm ready. He's like, I'll give you an extra 50,000 if you can do it. Mm-hmm. Like, you got to fucking do it. Cause like in 2 days, it's done deal. Like it's Biden time.
Right.
And, and so then he doesn't get a pardon because I guess like from what I'm reading in this article, like the whole pardon like situation is like, there's like a line of people. It's like, there's a line.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I guess Roger Stone was like, I can't do it. And I don't but here's what I don't understand. Like, you're friends with Matt Gaetz. You didn't rat on him. But why can't he help you out? He's like Trump's son. He's like he's like one of Trump's other sons. Like he looks at him like a son. And he was like, I don't know, I don't know why he won't help me. And he's like, because I asked Matt Gaetz about it, and he said he told me not to help you. And then Greenberg was like, wow. He fucking told you that? He told you not to help me? Okay. Cool. Wow. And then it was like Biden was sworn in and he didn't get a pardon. And so now and he was like even telling Roger Stone, he's like, dude, like people know about this. Like my old lawyers I fired know like Matt Gaetz fucked these little girls and it's going to happen and he's going to go to jail. Like he's going to go to jail.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you. And so it didn't happen. And now this guy has been hung out to dry by both his own actions, number one. Yeah. Number two, Matt Gaetz. And number three, Roger Stone, who I don't even understand why you would trust. Like, I feel like Roger Stone. Oh, I didn't tell you this part. So basically, like, Roger Stone was like, here's the deal. Like, if you want to get a pardon from Trump, like, you have to write this personal essay about how it's like when you're like bidding on a house and you have to write like a letter, like why you would be the best. You know,
that was a wild thing that we did not know about until we bought our house
in LA. LA is like a thing where you have to like
write a letter.
You have to like appeal to people's like humanity. Like, please, I want to. So anyway, he's like, you have to write a letter and you have to say in the letter specifically like how you are loyal and like a cheerleader of Trump's. And so he wrote like this 20-page letter and 20 pages? Or maybe it's like 10, I don't know. He wrote like
that's still a lot.
And he was like
a full page would be amazing to me.
He was like, it was probably why he didn't get the pardon because I don't think Trump reads anything.
No.
That's like a thing.
Yeah.
That was like a known thing.
Yeah.
So he was like, oh, I did all this stuff for you, Trump. And I purchased this billboard when you were, for you. And he like included like a photograph of the billboard. And so not only did he write this letter, this document, he like Roger Stone said, well, what were your crimes? Like basically you had to tell me what your crimes were. Cause that's like a thing, like part of it. And he was like, yeah, I fucked these girls that were like not old enough. And we did. And it almost made it sound like there were orgies because like, he was like, I saw it with my own eyes. He was like, I saw Matt Gaetz fuck this 17-year-old girl.
Yeah.
And he sent money and all this stuff. And it's like, or if you're seeing it, yuck.
This is Roger Stone saying
no, me.
People don't realize Roger Stone is a real prude.
No. So the whole thing was like, was Roger Stone trying to extort the 200? Like in my mind, like Roger Stone might have been trying to extort $250,000.
Oh, who knows? I mean, that's absolutely a possibility.
And if he wasn't going to extort the $250,000, he was going to have all this dirt on Greenberg,
right?
And Gaetz,
yes,
and Gaetz, and be like, Gaetz, I know for a fact you fucked this 17-year-old girl. If you don't want me to tell anyone, you need to pay me $50,000. Yeah. So, like, I don't understand why you would trust like Roger Stone. Anyway, this guy was desperate and he didn't want to go to jail, and now he's basically like singing like a bird because he doesn't want to go to jail. And Matt Gaetz is, I think, going to go to jail. I mean, I think he's going to go to jail.
I hope so. I mean, what these guys always forget, and it's astounding, is that there's no honor among thieves. And they don't see themselves as doing things wrong, which is the problem. And that they don't, so it doesn't occur to them like, these guys are so up their own asses. They never think, oh, this guy will betray me. He won't stay loyal to me forever because I'm a fucking creep.
I don't even understand well, yeah, because when he found out, like, Matt Gaetz told him not to give him. Also, why would Matt Gaetz say that? Because Matt Gaetz is compromised. Like, he should have been like, we need to get him a pardon ASAP.
He probably thinks that. I would imagine Matt Gaetz thinks this guy can only hurt me if he is helped. But if people ignore him, then my name stays out of it.
Well, that calculation was so...
Yeah, exactly.
It was so Jerry-like.
Exactly. It was so Jerry-like.
Like, that calculation is something Jerry would concoct.
But these things... Here's the thing, is that like somebody like Trump, Donald Trump, for whatever fucking reason, cultivates loyalty in people that he does not respect whatsoever.
No, he has no loyalty.
But they will always be loyal to him. It's nuts. And so I think a guy like Gates thinks, oh, I'm like that, where this guy's never going to fucking turn on me. Don't help him.
But like, I think the Trump thing, from what I can tell, because I've read a lot about it.
Sure.
It's like he's like a mob boss, right? Like he ends up like with power.
Mm-hmm.
And so that people become loyal to him because they want the access to what he has.
Yeah, but
he has access.
But he wasn't always the president. You know what I mean? And he was just like a sort of famous buffoon for the longest time. And yet he inspired, like look, Michael Cohen had to fucking go to jail before he realized, oh, I've wasted my life, in service to this monster.
But Michael Cohen's going to have the last word, I think, because like he's helping. He's helping.
Yeah.
I mean,
But I mean, that's what it takes. Do you know what I mean?
He's lost his law license over this guy.
He should. Like he did a bad thing. Michael Cohen did a bad thing.
Yeah, I know. He paid off.
He wasn't a victim.
He paid off Stormy Daniels.
Yeah, he wasn't a victim.
He hid it. And blah, blah, blah.
He willingly did this. He willingly made his life what it was.
And he used his own money. And this guy, like, he got so fucked in the ass
idiot.
by it. Like,
he's an idiot. All these guys are idiots. Like any of them that trust each other or think that, like, oh, these guys aren't gonna. I can just skate through this. Nobody's ever gonna touch me. That's the hubris is unbelievable.
I just think it's like when there's a person out, I don't find him charming. I don't find Donald Trump. There were moments where I tried to see what the charm was, and I was like, oh, okay, maybe for like a second, like an attitude or something where he's like, I don't fucking care.
If this guy were not the president of the United States, I could see how his behavior could somehow be entertaining.
But what was so funny about it, because they talk about like, like that he's entertaining or charismatic or whatever, and yet he has no sense of humor. So whenever you find Donald Trump amusing in any moment, he's not oh my God, it's a double cuckoo.
Ooh, that's a long episode, folks.
Well, our ads alone were like 20 minutes long. I just feel like someone that has no sense of humor, it's so odd. Like if you find him funny or he's making a comment that's funny, it's not though. He's not looking at it like that.
No, he's a mean person.
Like when
he says things that are mean that sometimes have the rhythm of jokes.
That's right. When he's insulting someone in a certain way that you might find.
Let's not talk about Trump.
Well, we're not really. We're talking
let's talk about these other guys. I want to pretend that he is dead.
Jesus Christ. Well, I actually want to pretend that when they take Giuliani's hard drive, which they have done this week.
I mean, I can't wait.
There's so much shit in that.
Can't wait.
There's wait, Mike on our text thread. Yeah. He said the funniest thing.
Shout out to Mike Merrill.
No, it's Mike Castle.
Forgive me. Shout out to Mike Castle.
Mike Castle.
2 funny Mikes and 2 funny threads
on our text thread, and we were talking about the Giuliani raid, and I was like, I hope they find so much stuff, and then he said, if there's anyone out there who had to print out all of his emails, it was Giuliani. Yeah. And that made me laugh so hard because I was like, yeah, I bet he does that. Everybody's like, print that out for me so I can read it.
Yeah, there's probably like a file cabinet of printed out emails. All right, we should wrap it up. Do you have a recommendation?
I don't know. You do yours.
We've been watching Secrets of the Whales on Disney Plus. So far, these whales are not spilling the tea.
I will say that the new season of Cocaine and Rhinestones came out.
Yes, thank you. Yes. New season of Cocaine and Rhinestones. Great podcast.
I love me some Tyler Mahan Co.
Yeah.
And I'm a big fan of season 1. I'm also a Patreon member.
First episode is out. Maybe the second by this time. But I learned more about pinball than I ever knew.
I know he's going
and how
deep
it intersected with country
music, which I didn't know a lot of that stuff about pinball. And I'm a big pinball fan.
I did not know that.
Oh, I love pinball. I'm just not around it.
It's true. We've not been around pinball.
When I was a kid, we had a pinball machine. My dad had a pinball machine in our basement. Ooh, this is pre my parents' divorce. I
was going to say that sounded like post-divorce.
No, maybe it was.
Dad has a pinball machine in his apartment.
Maybe it was a precursor. This is pre-1980, so I know you don't think I was born yet. I wasn't. I just heard about it.
Anyway, Cocaine and Rhinestones, great podcast hosted by Tyler Mahan Co. All about the world of country music and
in the 20th century, specifically.
It is like,
but season 2 is George Jones.
Yeah, it's really fascinating. It's really fascinating and informative.
He's an amazing,
and funny and entertaining.
He's an amazing researcher.
Yeah, he really is.
He's done really great job with it.
Yes.
And this season, he's gotten so much press. Like, he was like in GQ.
Yeah, it's really cool.
All this stuff.
Yeah.
Is that what you were going to recommend?
Yes, I wanted to recommend that, and I forgot to make a note about it.
I'm still listening to Killer Roll, hosted by Keith Morrison.
I want to re-up a recommendation for Election Profit Makers, on which we've appeared, but it is...
just that one time.
Going.
Just that one time.
Just that one time. Well, they don't have guests all the time. They only have guests during the election, but it's continuing post-election, and it's so funny, and I really look forward to it every week.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Well, I guess that's all she wrote for.
Wait, we recommended Cynthia's book last week, right?
Yes, Good Company.
Yes, Good Company, a novel.
Because I bragged about being name checked.
That's right. I just started reading it, enjoying it so far.
I loved it. I've already texted Cynthia all of my
I'm sure you have,
thoughts.
Darling. I'm sure you have.
And I'm in the middle of You Love Me by Caroline Kepnes.
Oh, that's right.
Which is the third in the trilogy.
That's right.
The third in the trilogy. And perhaps you watched the Netflix show on which it is based.
And they're shooting the third season now, right?
Yes, and the third book just came out. So I'm confused if the third season is going to be the third book or if the third season is a precursor to the book.
But our friend Brian Safi is going to be in the third season, which is very exciting.
Who's on Ask Rana and Brian, who we've talked about.
Okay. We're not here to revisit old plugs. What is this, a Christmas plug, Carol? All right. Thank you for listening. We are stayfhomekins on Twitter and Instagram.
So many good emails.
Yes,
a lot of sweet emails that have thanked us for being with them, and we want to thank you listeners for being with us.
Yeah,
because
it really means a lot to us. And you can email us at stayfhomekins@gmail.com, and we'll be back next week.
Don't forget to check out our official merch on kinshipgoods.com. Yes. People have bought our newest design, which is the squirrel picnic and the rat. And they are sending us pictures is really good. So if you don't have any merch, go buy it all up because we love it.
And listen,
Paul's wearing one right now. He's wearing the y'all.
It's true. And it's not sold through Kinship Goods, but get yourself a squirrel picnic table because it's delightful. When you see them eating those...
It really should be called a possum and rat.
Now, here's the thing. The squirrels eat the nuts during the day, but if they leave leftovers, then the possums clean it up. That's just the way of the world.
Bullshit.
That's just the way of the world. All right. We'll be back next week. Until then,
stay safe,
stay sane, and stay home
unless you're vaccinated and get out.